So then, I wanted to make this video because, well, quite frankly, there's a lot of things I want to get off my chest. And actually seeing the last 2 days the unravelling of two clubs that have been a part of the Football League for a very, very long time. And we should highlight what's gone on, really. So really, it was the police who interrupted my video, thank you. Let's talk about Bolton Wanderers. Now, we talk about how their problem is, they've had a quick fix and it's not worked. Phil Parkinson's gone, majority of the team have gone. It's very, very sad because these guys once were challenging in Europe. They had some fantastic players, JJ Okocha, Nikos Anelka, just to name a few. They were regularly competing in the Premier League, and it's all gone so wrong so fast. But that's the shock of how football's gone these days. Unfortunately, it's a money grabbing business, not the passion anymore, and it's a fair old shame to see that develop. When you actually listen to some of the YouTubers that have been lifelong Bolton fans, Theo, Neve, they talk about how disappointed they are. I don't think people understand too much. Certainly some of the clubs that don't, they've not been in this situation before. There's some sympathy with Blackpool. Now Blackpool they could have very easily gone out of business if the club hadn't got sold. And to be fair to them, they've done excellent, pulling themselves out of the fire and making sure they're actually competitive and sustainable again, which is what hopefully Bolton can do. If they can find the right person that knows the football club that will help dig them out of this massive, great big hole that they're in, then hopefully there is a future for this club. But let's talk about Bury, for instance. It's such a sad shame that 134 years of this club has gone, and it made me upset because as a football fan I didn't want to see that whatsoever. And these guys, this is where the Nevilles were starting out their careers before they went to Manchester United. It's got rich history. They played. They've been regular competitors in the FA Cup. They've been. They won. They even got promoted from flipping League 2 last season. They had a great season, and it's all just gone wrong because of one man, and that's Steve Dale. Listening to TalkSport now, I've got a lot of beef with TalkSport about what they've done, and I don't like what they've interpreted just to get a few views out of themselves. And with Jim White, people have a go at Jim White, and I can very much understand why they've done that. It was very much a dick move by what he did. But enough about. We're going to move on to that later. But talk about Bury and Steve Dale. Steve Dale said, and I quote, that he didn't know Bury had a football club. And if you want to listen to that, go listen to the Radio 5 Live interview that he did about when he took over Bury. I think it's a fucking mess. I think personally with Bury, you're gonna get people that are gonna laugh about how they got buried and the Bury joke. Now, yeah, that was funny, 5 minutes ago. It's not funny now. Who cares about that? And these are the sort of fans that sit behind a keyboard and moan about the team that they've done terrible, but honestly they've never been to a game in their life. Surely they've sat there on TV, they've got subscription to Sky Sports, which is great for them. I couldn't give a shit about that. Honestly, the passion is not from the TV. The passion is sitting in the terraces. When I started going, when I was 4 or 5 years old, going to Bellevue, that was the passion. Walking through those turnstiles, walking into Bellevue, standing there on the terraces and cheering my team on. That was passion. Not sitting Not sitting in front of a TV watching football, listening to some prima donna pundits talking about how he should have done this, he should have done that on the TV, where they really, had shit careers. Not mentioning Robbie Savage and Jermaine Genius, for example. But listening to Steve Dale and how this quick fix that they had for the club and really not had a sustainable long future for the club is very, very sad. Surely the Football League should have known that, but hey, who am I to judge when they're filling their wallets with more money and making it look like a business? Now, the Football League should have known that Steve Dale didn't have the funds, that he wasn't eligible, he wasn't capable of running a football club. They must be bonkers. There's got to be a line. There's got to be more principle and power to the Football League to say, look, you don't have the funds to sustain a decent long future in the club. Why are you thinking about buying a club? I just find it amazing, the fact that the Football League has let this go on their watch. Another example is Portsmouth. Yes, Portsmouth very nearly again went under, and I'll give them a lot of credit that they pulled themselves out of the fire, and they're very, very competitive. It could be going on the way to the Championship this season. But they've done that through starting again. But not to mention they had a little bit of help with the parachute payment. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, their parachute payments might have been done by then, but sure, they still had a little bit of money to keep themselves going, whereas Bury don't really have that. Now, there is a future for these clubs if Bolton do go under. Hopefully not, but for Bury there is a future. And you've got to look at the examples. Newport County, for instance, they are very competitive in the Football League. They're always a decent cup competition team. They've done extremely well in the last couple of years. They've made themselves sustainable. They're not going to spend too much above their line. They're not going to spend money that they don't have. And that's why they've kept themselves what they are, and more power to them. Another team, AFC Wimbledon. Now, they are a very controversial team, but you've got to give them credit for what they've done. Yes, they have. Yes, they had a very good core set of fans that were still going when the old Wimbledon was still going. But to them, the way that they've done it through starting again and getting back up to the Football League I think it's a great job. And finally, AFC Telford United, they saw them a few times last season, and the story of how they've done it has been exceptionally well. Very competitive in the 6th tier. They very nearly went up last season, and I think the future is bright for all these teams. They're going to be very, they're going to be challenging no matter what, and I really hope Telford do get to the Football League one day. I really hope they do. But it's a very sad time to see with Bury. It's a very sad time with Bolton. But for Bury, it's a great chance for them to start again. Just relax, just calm, and start again. Even if it's a fans' own football club, why not? There's a very good set of core fans that follow Bury. Hopefully they can still keep hold of Gig Lane, which Gig Lane is a great stadium. Been there, it's a lovely, lovely ground, old school ground. And I really hope that they can survive and start again. If they could start from the very bottom, why not? Let them have some fun down at the bottom end and try and work their way up again. And it brings me on to my point about Sky Sports. Now, I agree with a lot of the stuff that people have said that football was invented in 1992. Sky didn't do it, and yet they've let this go to the wayside with the Premier League and how much coverage they do. I mean, it's over 140 games that do, at least, and they give so much coverage to the Championship. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing there. I like watching the Championship. I think it's more entertaining than the Premier League in some cases. But there isn't enough coverage for League 1 and 2 at all. I mean, yeah, you might get the odd games, but if you've seen the games already this season from League 1 and 2, it's really been the top teams that have been in there: Sunderland, Portsmouth, Salford. Don't get me started on Salford. But the whole point is that it should be shared equally. But unfortunately, it's gonna get grasped by the top teams, your top 6, and unfortunately that's the way football's gonna go. And until something very drastic happens, like an alien invasion, that's never gonna happen. And unfortunately, for these clubs, hopefully there is a future long term, but they've got to stop with these stupid owners that are killing these clubs. But anyway, yeah, that's enough I've got to say. Cheers. Bye.